Hello everyone. So this video, we're going to look at the new update to Aura. So these have literally just dropped. Just going to put this here because I forgot to say while recording. I've been given some more codes by the team at Aura. So if you want a chance of winning, which means you can get to play with Aura early, leave a comment, leave a like, and just tell me what you want to use Aura for. How you think it would benefit you. Anyway, let's go back to the video. And here's the change log for 0.3. So we can now use Aura directly in Unreal Engine. So previously we had a separate desktop application that would show up. But now, if we can click the Aura button, we now get Aura in here. So I'm just going to delete my chats. And what we can do with this now is we should be able to drag it in here. So now we have Aura inside the client itself. So let's do a test to make sure it's all working. So let's say, tell me about my project. And then let's see what Aura will do. So like previously, what Aura does is it queries the actual project files that are like in the level, that are in the content folder. It checks everything in here, and then it can basically learn more about the project. So if you're wondering what this is, I'm in Unreal Engine 5.6, and we're just in the game animation sample. So if I press play, we're just in this one here. So we can run around while Aura does its thing. So let's just let that do its thing. So I need to re-record this bit. So it's figured out the project. It's figured out that we're using the game animation sample, and basically where all the core systems are, where the main blueprints, animation, play controller, and all that. Because this sample uses different versions of the character, it's figured out where those are. And then we've got all the information about the project. What I did next is I asked it a question. Where would I change how high the character can jump? So now it's found this. So we're going to do this and see what happens. So at the moment, see if we jump this high. So we're basically going to follow what this says. So we're going to go to content, which is game, if you ever wonder, blueprints, and then the sandbox character. So now we're in here. I don't know why that was so big. What we're going to do now is we are going to select the character. We unpin this, actually, like this. If we go to here, we can now have this following us. We are going to select the character movement component. So it's called char move component here. And then find the jump settings. So we're going to search for jump. And we have the jump z velocity. So let's try adding a 0 to it. And then let's try. And it also gives some suggestions on how many units it wants to do a height. By default, it's 420. This project has 500, but for like a super jump, it would be 1,000. So let's try it. We press play and we jump, and now we've jumped super high. So let's make that a more reasonable. So let's follow this. It says high jump is 6 to 8. So let's do 700. And then let's try it now. So we jump, there we go. Now we've got like a sort of moon jump. If you imagine like a moon surface, we can jump. So there we go. Okay, let's look at the rest of the changelog. So we've done that. Auto scaling on 3D mesh generations. 3D assets generate close to real life. You can prompt Aura to generate a 3D scale. So let's try this. So we're going to use the example. Let's try generate a 10-foot tall statue of Gordon Freeman with a crowbar. So let's do that. So as it says here, you'll see if you're using this, you'll see a pop-up sometimes. Well, in the beta or like closed alpha, I'm not sure what it would be. Sometimes it pops up saying that it wants to optimize, and it's if you want to do that, you open a new chat. It remembers everything you've already talked to it, and you ask the question. But I'm just going to stress test in a sense and just ask it in here to generate a 3D model, and then we'll see what it does. So like always, I'm just going to let this run and in real time so you can see. So there we go. So now we have our statue of what it thinks is Gordon Freeman with, I'm not sure that's a crowbar. It's something. But if I press play, so the sizing looks correct because I think this character in real life, Manny would be, or this character, I think it's around 6 feet tall. So that works. Let's try, let's see what it said. So it's generated a character that is 10 feet tall or 3 meters. It features heroic statue depicting Gordon Freeman in his HEV suit with the glasses holding a crowbar. I wouldn't call that a crowbar, but PBR materials. So it's put a pivot at the bottom. So we can rotate 8,000 faces of the model. So, and then we can see the model details like this. And it's put it here next to the teleporter, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so let's go through the next. Aura blockout tools. So this is the other thing that was in the previous video that just got added back then, which was a way to generate a level blockout, but it wouldn't make doorways and things like that. So, and it does say here that it's experimental and it's better to use simple layouts. So let's try create me a blockout level. It should have a central. All right, it should have a central room with 4 doorways at each of the directional points. So north, west, southeast. Each doorway should have a hallway that leads into another room. So let's see what happens now, because that's sort of a bit of a weird block out for it to do. So it's going to create a blockout level with a central room and 4 directional hallways leading to separate rooms. So what it's doing now is it's generating an image of the map. So it's generating a 2D image, and then it will actually use that to build geometry. So let's see what happens. So this shouldn't pop up. This is just because I've forgot to do something. It's just bringing the image into Unreal that is generated. Import that just because being weird. And then you'll see in here, I think it is, level prototyping. There is a generated images. Here we go. So here's this is the image it used. It basically generated this image and it converted that into a level. So here we go. So let's see. Let's have a look here. So we can play from current location. So as you can see, I asked it to create a blockout level. It's got a central room with 4 doorways on each directional point. And each room should have a hallway that leads to another room. So it's created a central area. And then each one of these has a small like hallway and then another room here. So if we look over here, we have our small area like this. So for like a small arena, so you can imagine you're in the middle, enemies are coming from these areas, and you have to like fight them. Also I did over here an extra side room. So imagine this would be like where you start and the level. So like you'd start off and then you come into here. Maybe like a barrier would appear and then enemies would pour in from these areas here like this. So that's that. What I want to do now is I want to test it, which is something I did on the last last one. Can I just remove this? Will it delete all these? Let's just do this. Just because I want to generate something else. There's probably a better way than doing that, but just for now. In the previous video, if you watched, I actually tried to get it to generate E1M1 from Doom. So let's try that. Generate me a blockout that is an exact copy. Copy of the E1M1 level from the original Doom game. Right, so let's see what it does now. Because this is a lot more. This is basing it on a level from an existing game. But I want to see what it can do because the previous version of Aura sort of did it a bit, but struggled because it was very early, like alpha, beta. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to let this run. So once again, it's generating the image like this. I also want to check while I'm here, the Gordon Freeman statue. I wanted to see how it looked. Oh, the level is generating, so my Unreal is paused or frozen a little bit. There we go. A little bit of a pause there. So excellent. I've created a block out of the E1 M1 Doom level. So let's look at the map first that it generated. Oh yeah, I need to fix that. That's on me. So here we go. This is what it thinks the E1M1 map looked like from Doom. So what I'm going to do is E1M1 map Doom. So if I open this and look at this. So here is the E1M1 map from Doom. And here's what it's created. So it's tried. It's a lot better than the previous version. So if we come in here, starting room, see where it's built this. Is this the starting room? Is it? See if it's done. Spline team player. Oh, there we go. It's tried to generate it. It's generated a lot more open. Like I say, this is in early development, this feature. Oh, bit of gaps between the walls. But it's tried its best. It's had a good go at it. And it's created quite a big level for testing. I think this is the room it wants us to start in. Yeah, it is. But it has given it a try. I think I just gave it too complicated task. But it does generate a decent little block out for running around and testing some gameplay mechanics. Okay. So next, the eye icon for passwords. So this is when you actually launch Aura and you have to log in. Password reset, individual tool toggles. So let's look at that. So what we can do in Aura is we have this button here, and we can basically go in and turn off what we don't want. So for example, if you don't want Aura to generate images or like build block out stuff or generate models from text, you can turn all that off and then it won't be able to do it. So you'll be able to customize to an extent what Aura can do for you. If you want to stay away from all this part of generating images, then you can just turn it off. You don't have to use it. Next, multiple actor asset as context. So what you can do is let me read that again. Oh, I guess what that means is if I, let's see, do I have any actors? Blueprints. If I bring that in, which is echo, and I also bring that in, which is a metahuman body, I click them both and then tell me about the actors I have selected. Let's see if this is what it means. Oh. So, okay, so it now knows what objects you have selected. Based on your current selection, you have two characters in the, this is very stretched, feels. Both actors instances of a character. So this is the main character. We also have this character selected, which is the blueprint class that is the first actor is based on. So that's quite handy, because if you're coming into a new project and there's like things in the world you don't really know what they do, and you don't understand, like, especially if you're a new person and you've purchased, for example, a something from the marketplace. For example, say horror engine is one that's used a lot, and you don't exactly understand what these objects do. This will be really useful. So, for example, let's try it with this. This here, this button. What does the object I have selected do? Let's try this. So what it's doing is it's going in and it's checking the asset. So it's based on the metadata. Do I have the character selected? No, I don't. Let's try again. What does the actor I have currently selected do? Oh, I think I know what I've done. We'll see if this works. I think I misread. Yeah, it's content browser. I don't think it's in level, but we'll see. It's figuring it out. Let's see what it does. Yeah, so I misread it. So, for example, this button widget here, we can right click it and we can browse to asset. So now we have this level button here. So if I have this highlighted, now I ask Aura, what does the actor I have selected do? Let's see if it knows. It's still 2 actors selected. Still hooked up on me having those selected over there. Okay, let's try a new chat, because it is mentioned about new chat. So new chat. Tell me about the object I have selected. Because we read here, it does say that selection has to happen before the opening the chat. So there we go. Based on your context, you have the level button blueprint selected and a button widget actor in your level. So I have this selected, and I also have this selected. So let's see if it knows what the thing does. So level button is a custom blueprint. It appears to be designed to an interactive level navigation button. Specific tag to use selected button widget. It says what it does. It's got its component. So here's the functionality. So when it's overlapped, it will execute a trigger. Update teleport senders in the level. Visual feedback. Event flow. So when triggered, it calls the button press delegate. It checks if the execute command is enabled. If enabled, execute the stored command and updates the teleporter sender reference. So if we open this here, let's see. So let's bring Aura out. Let's see. So when we overlap, it checks the delegate, which is this, and then it checks if we're going to execute a console command. If we are, we execute the command, and then the command is here. And if I click hit this and come to details and bring this up, we can see the button name, execute command, the console command to run. So it knew that. Changes, auto indexing is now enabled by default. So what this means is when it used to be you had a button here called sync files. That when you first open a project, it's recommended you click this to sync the files in. But what this means now is instead of having to do it every time you add a new file, whenever you create something like bp_test actor, Aura will now update the knowledge of this actor. If you need to fully restart Aura, so now Aura is in the bottom here. Project memory has been disabled for now until we implement a stronger solution. So I guess this means that previously Aura would know everything about the project and remember it. And I guess that was having issues, so they've disabled it for now. And remove the restriction on sending messages while Aura is responding. Okay. So previously you would send Aura a message and it would not allow you to send another message while Aura was responding. But now there'll be a queue, so we can do this. So tell me about my project. What else should, what changes would be fun to add? If I do that, see? So what it's doing now is it's doing both at the same time, I think. See? So it's queuing both up and it's working through them both. So it's generated the second thing first. Oh, hang on. Has it combined them or is it still? So yeah, so it's done both at the same time. It looks like. Oh, it's got rid of everything. I think I need to report this. Oh, there we go. So it answered the second question first, and now it's gone back to answer the first and display. So here we go. This is the first question we asked, which was tell me about my project. Now if we go down and let it continue on. Okay, and then where is the other question? So it's got rid of the other question. Okay, I need to report this, which I will do. But that isn't working fully. But they did say that this is work in progress. Let's see. Bug fixes, chat titles, and more. Okay, I don't know what that means. And sensical. So these are more. They used to just have like. This is what I found, but now they actually work correctly. The Aura version update is fine. That was just that the app here, where you can see the number here, would have a different version from the installer. So this error used to come up and basically freeze Aura, like you couldn't respond to it, you couldn't talk to it anymore, it would just stop. this would also appear, and it would just freeze Aura and not let it work. Fix the blockout for not working in Aura source builds. So here's some issues currently. With the blockout tool, it can get unresponsive, which it did. You saw that. Complex layouts with tons of buildings cause Unreal to freeze. I didn't have that issue. Export button doesn't work, which is where you can export the chat into HTML to show others or just to keep it safe. Sending a message while Aura is responding can make the chat flicker. Yep, we saw that. Sometimes you need to click twice for a chat. I think that is the way with Focus, how Focus can work. If Aura chat is missing formatting, double check Task Manager, extra Aura isn't running. So, as you can see, some things are still in development, but it's coming along really nice. A lot of improvements every time we get an update. Oops. So if you're interested in trying it, I can do a giveaway. So just leave a comment with a like saying what you want to use Aura for. How would it help you in your projects, you think? If you want to just sign up on Aura's website, here is Aura's website, and you can join the waitlist, and you can also join Discord, where you can chat about what you would use Aura for and things like that. I'm on there. I post in the general topics helping people with Unreal and stuff. So I hope you found this useful. I'm not sponsored or anything by Aura. I'm just helping them test it and show things off because I think it's going to be such a big thing. But like I say, if you want to try Aura out and have a chance at winning a invite code to test, just leave a comment on what you would use Aura for and like the video. And I will see you in the next one.